Okay, well, this is something that I read recently. I believe it may have been on Game Rant. There's like a rumor going around that Red Dead Redemption from 2010 might be getting remastered sometime in the future. And the reason I say that is because apparently the game was removed from PlayStation Now, and it was there for like 6 years. It was removed sometime late last year, and and it's a bit baffling and shocking to some extent that the game was never ported from the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, despite its accolades, despite the amount of revenue the game brought in for Rockstar, and despite the fact that it was probably one of the best, video games of the teens decade. And a lot of people will go on record and tell you that Red Dead Redemption 2 was better because I think that game had multiple endings, but Red Dead Redemption 1 was really good for its time. Some people might say that was ahead of its time for that matter. And the reason I say that is because it was something that was compelling, and it kind of promoted the narrative of, I guess, anti-heroes basically doing what they have to do to survive and to basically, I guess, do what they need to do to get by and what have you. And that was the case with the main character, John Marston, who was like he was the main protagonist for the game. And pretty much throughout the game, he was being extorted by the Bureau of Investigation because he, I don't know, because he needed a pardon for his past crimes. And as a result, he had to form alliances throughout the game to take down former comrades. And unfortunately, the ending of the game, it sucked if you were John Marston, who was the main character. So like it was one of those games where it was a good ending, but at the same time, it was only bad for the main protagonist. But at the same time, that's the thing that made the game good. And the rest is just history. It's like Marston eventually got double crossed by, I guess, the main antagonist Edgar Ross, and by the Bureau of Investigation who he was working for. And I think it was pretty dark and tragic, and for its time, but at the same time, it was very realistic, and it wasn't one of those like PG-13 happy ending type of video games. And I think that's something that a lot of people liked about it. And I guess it's something that kind of it's something that people liked at the time, and I think it's something where the story it's more relatable in terms of like what you see today in society nowadays than it was back in 2010, with basically the main character becoming a victim and making his tragic demise due to his association with corrupt authority figures. And honestly, I think that Red Dead Redemption 1 deserved a remake, a long, long time ago. And I believe at one point I may have like wrote a blog or article about this a while back, because I definitely felt like this game should definitely be remade before we get a Red Dead Redemption 3. But I think it might be a little too soon for Red Dead Redemption 3, because Red Dead Redemption 2 came out back in 2018, I believe. And even though 2018 seems like it was a long time ago, I think it was I don't know. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. That's not too long ago when you really think about it. It's just that it feels like forever ago because of how much the world has changed since 2018. But I definitely feel like this game definitely needs to be remastered or remade for the PlayStation 5. I definitely feel like there's money to be made in remaking Red Dead Redemption 1 for the PlayStation 5. It was very innovative. It felt like a Western version of Grand Theft Auto to some extent. And I do feel that this rumor is something that we're eventually going to learn more about, whether or not it's happening or not. Whether or not Rockstar Games is actually planning on releasing a Red Dead Redemption 3 sometime in the future, and that's definitely something I see happening. Probably not in the near future, because um, I do feel that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not that old, and it's definitely a game that I think a lot of people play to this day because of the online multiplayer gameplay and all of that. But yeah, I mean, seeing Red Dead Redemption remade for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X is something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be thrilled to see in the future.